Good morning, I'm Paul Hayes, and I want to introduce a new idea that we want to promote and make available to you guys to eliminate the problem of fluorocarbon and mono leader boxes, whether you're keeping them in a box or keeping them in your tackle container. They always seem to come apart, whether you're using rubber bands or the tape they come with, and give you an alternative that has a little gadget that holds the line and allows you to pull line off your reel like that or wind it back on. It organizes you, it allows you to save time when the hot bite is on.
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Ron. Pleasure to be
Paul
here.
is a great guy, a long-range fisherman, and has so many great ideas. And I invited him over for some garage talk. I hope you like it. We'll keep it clean. We won't talk anything bad. We won't be drinking beer. But he has some wonderful ideas, and I'm gonna I can't believe the simpleness and the thought that goes into such an idea. So take over, would you, and explain what it's all about?
All right, so a lot of you guys fish with fluorocarbon leader, and ever since I started using it, one of the problems is it comes with a little piece of tape to hold the line here when you're done using it, or you tie it to a rubber band and the rubber band always breaks. So when you put it in your tackle box, whether it's a single spool or multiple spools, you go to use it and it's all over the place. The line loosens up and goes all over, and the idea of fluorocarbon is you need to be able to tie a new piece on after a couple of fish because it gets weak. So one of my friends gave me one of these years ago, and it sat on one of my spools, and I noticed that spool never had a problem. So I took it apart and I've put together a little device that looks like this when you're done making it. It's a simple 9mm bead available at any fabric store or crafting store. The tape, the elastic tape you use, is available at any fabric store, and again it's 1/4-inch tape. So we'll show you a close-up of the beads and the tape. Again, these I got at a local crafting store and fabric store because that's common. And then the other piece of material you need is a 1/2-inch piece of hose. This is like maybe 25 cents to $1 worth of hose right here, and I've been using it for quite a while.
What's the diameter of the hose?
1/2-inch.
1/2 inch, okay.
And these are 9mm beads. The idea is eventually that bead is going to hold the elastic tape in place when you cut the little section and put it together, which we're going to do in a moment here. So the net effect when you're done is you can take your fluorocarbons. This is about a $6 item at any tackle store. It's made by Plano, I believe, but there's other manufacturers that make them. And you'll have your 80 to 20 pound fluorocarbons all in a nice neat bundle that doesn't come apart.
Well, but Paul, if it was a freshwater guy or inshore fisherman, he could just use any size that he wants.
I didn't bring the 15 and the 10 pound test that I have at home, but it's just a smaller spool, a smaller, same size.
So this would apply to even smaller spools with a smaller box?
Yep, all you do is change the length of your
Fantastic.
tape when you start, and you don't have to be precise. I just measure this by eye, and I'm going to demonstrate real quick here. You put the end of one unit like so, and again I just hold it up to the spool. It's got to be smaller than the diameter so that it stretches, and you hold this thing open and you put the bead in here and you put it down, and
it's almost push fit with your thumb, but
well,
stronger.
One trick that I learned is if you warm up the pipe, the hose, it'll be much more pliable. This has been sitting in my garage for a while.
Would you heat it up with boiling water or?
Yeah, I would do
Hot
that.
water.
Yeah, hot water might, but you could almost push this in if you buy a smaller diameter bead. But very simply, just so I don't wreck the table here, you just put this on here, and I take the hard end of the mallet, not the rubber end. And once you get it on the top there you go.
Unbelievable.
So obviously this one's a little bit loose, so you just give it another whack. And this, I don't trim it until after I'm sure I made it to the right length, because you can always take it apart and never waste anything. This goes right over the top here, and that's going to be just right. So then this one's a little tighter, but then you just trim the loose ends off. You don't have to trim them off, but you know, if you want to leave them long, then you can adjust it for a smaller unit. But I think this is adequate. This is probably 25 cents worth of material right there. The devices I used to cut the tube was just a heavy pair of scissors, and of course I have a little rubber mallet, and I hit it down on a piece of wood so I don't damage the table. And then you can just do this. You can pull line off, and if you want to put it back on, you just push it back the other way. Look at that. Can you see that? That's just a simple fluorocarbon spool. And for you guys rigging marlin rigs, you can take a triple fish, one of those big spools of line, and do the same thing. You can use this for any of your fishing line. If you buy a 3 or 5 pound spool of heavy line and you obviously don't use it all at once, you can make one of these and put it over the spool and set it aside, and that way it won't go all over the place. One thing that makes it easier, because your buddies are going to see these and they're going to want to use it.
Absolutely.
Make sure you put your name on it, and then add to it which line size. I go from 20 to 60 in this one. I have another one that has 80, 100, and 130 in it, but that's a different box size. And then my 15 and 10 sizes are smaller diameters, so I just keep them in the same part of my tackle box, and good to go.
I cannot thank you enough. These bands are amazing. While you were explaining it, I tried to push it and change its shape, or maybe get it to fail. There was no way to get it to fail, and you can almost see it's almost stuck like a glue to that bead. Thank you ever so much for watching, and thank you.
No
that
problem.
was fantastic. I could not.